Hello and welcome to Dawn Chorus Writes, a Miraculous Ladybug lyrical one-shot for Marichat Monday. And this is a special request by Sarah, a love like this. So I hope you enjoy it, and it's a little bit of a follow-on to another Marichat one-shot. So I hope you can pinpoint which one it is. Comment down below if you work out which one it is, and smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope you enjoy. Bye. A love like this. Marinette, will you? Adrian Chatnoir, POV. Chat landed back onto the pavement and transformed out of his astro suit into his regular black suit, taking a deep breath. The Akuma had been a hard one, with too many near misses. He glanced around at the crowd that was suddenly building for a sight of Ladybug, but he couldn't see her. Kitty! He spun around. That was Marinette's voice, but where? Why? Kitty! Marinette weaved through the crowd and was coming straight at him with a smile that made his entire world light up. Kitty! She repeated, now with her arms out in front, and wasn't stopping. With a laughter that erupted from his chest, he bent his legs and flung out his arms. Princess? She landed on him, wrapping her legs around him, and clung on around his neck, like her life was dependent on it. He tightened his grip around her waist, feeling her head pressing against his own. I thought our relationship was meant to be a secret, he whispered into her ear. She angled her head just a little so that he would need to look up a fraction. Kitty, I love you, she said, not caring if people around them overheard, which they did as muffled voices hummed around them. Gripping him tighter, she kissed him with a passion that caused his heart to explode like a firework inside of him. It was their first kiss in public. Now there would be no doubt to the rumors, and yet in this present moment, he cared not. Oh, how much he loved this woman, his princess, and tonight he was going to show her exactly how much. He pulled out his baton and, breaking away from the kiss breathlessly, Hold on. With all my heart, she giggled. What has gotten into her today? She wasn't like this when he had left her this morning at breakfast. He carried her like a princess, her head resting against his chest as he leapt across the rooftops until he reached her balcony. They might be 21 and in college, but this was still her home, and wherever she was, is his. He dropped onto the sun chair that still held a bit of morning dew on it as he stepped back and leant against the railings. Marinette, what came over you? Down there? I mean, I'm not complaining. That greeting and kiss, but now... He folded his arms, trying to be unpleased by her actions, but knew his acting skills weren't that good. She stood and made her way back to him, stroking her hands across his arms, encouraging them to open and wrap around her. She paused, letting out a long sigh as she raised one hand, tangling her fingers through his hair. I don't care. Not anymore. That battle, and when I was scared. Kitty, I was terrified for a moment and realized I don't care about any of it. All I care, love, is you. And I had a desire, a need to throw myself into your arms. Her gaze landed on his peach-colored lips, yearning for them. She brushed hers against his, their arms wrapping around each other with a tightness that he wasn't sure where she ended and he began. I had to see you. With no shoes on, may I add? He raised his eyebrows at her and tried to tighten his lips so not to burst out laughing at the scene still repeating inside his head. Yeah, and the ground is freezing. Who would have thought for summer? Her laughter forced a chuckle to burst out of him. I know it was reckless doing that, when we have tried so hard over the past 2 years to keep our relationship as dating a secret, ever since you took me on our first secret date. How was he meant to stay disgruntled with her, with an act that displayed exactly how much he meant to her, how much she loved him? No one had ever loved him as much as this princess loved him. She was his everything, no matter the cost. He knew Ladybug would have something to say on the matter, disclosing their relationship without consulting her first, especially as the risk grew worse. But tomorrow he would deal with all that. Today, tonight, he had special plans, and nothing would stand in the way of that. Speaking of which, are we still on for tonight? Our anniversary date. His voice had softened, and along with his expression, he stroked his hand along down her neck and across her shoulders, leaning in a little closer. I love you so much, Marinette. You have made the last 2 years magical, and I can't wait to show you how much you mean to me. Shall I pick you up at 7 p.m? Yeah. What do you have planned, my kitty? You will just have to see now, won't you? I have ways of making you talk. She raised her eyebrows at him. Nope, I have far too much to do. He gave her a quick kiss. See you at 7, my love. With a playful grumble from Marinette, Chat jumped off the balcony and darted across Paris' cityscape with a sensation of bursting. It had taken slightly longer than he'd hoped, but everything was ready. All he needed was Marinette. He tapped his pocket in his suit, making sure his gift was secure, and made his way over to her. She loved him. This was gonna work. She would be happy. She would... Oh, there she was, standing there like she had been on their first date, wearing a new creation of hers in the style of a rock and roll dress, feeling his nerves disappear as she smiled at him. He had known in that moment that this moment would happen one day, that she was his forever, especially with a love like this. Evening, my love. Are you ready? He stepped forward, and the world tumbled away at his feet as he fell in love with his princess all over again. She wore a dusty pink dress that was fitted around her chest but puffed out at her waist, stopping above her knees. The material was soft to both look and feel, as if she had sewn fragments of clouds together. You look... His suit prickled with the heat he was suddenly emitting and releasing from his cheeks. Really? That reaction? She stepped forward in her kitten heels and fluttered her long eyelashes with a bold eyeliner that made her already sea eyes become oceans he found himself drowning in. Oh, my. There's no words. He rubbed the back of his neck as he took another step closer. How was it possible? Can he really be this lucky to have the love of this woman? What? No bow tie this time, Kitty. You had looked so cute, standing there nervous in your chat noir suit with a little bow tie. She reached out and flicked his bell. Oh yeah, I've forgotten about that bit of information, he chuckled. Are you ready? Marinette grabbed a warm black jacket that came to her waist, designed to go perfect with her dress. Slipping her arms in and picking up a bag, she gave him a nod. He picked her up, cradling her in his arms as she placed a hand on his chest. Wait! There was something we forgot first. Happy anniversary, my love. She angled her head up to his as she wrapped her arm around his neck, giving him a playful kiss. Now I'm ready. She giggled that made her eyes sparkle. He didn't know how much more his heart could take. Jumping across the rooftops, she leaned in closer to him, and he could sense the trust she had in him. There was no doubt, no fear, as others would have, as he ran at full speed with them, vaulting across another gap to the sensation of flying. As he got nearer to their destination, he felt her interest peak, glancing around them. Are we? I thought they were finally doing work on that location. He said nothing, only beamed at her and continued, dropping her down carefully in the same spot. Kitty, you are so romantic. What better way to show how far we've come by visiting the place it all began? The place I knew you were my forever. He took her by the hand, standing in front of the wall with the overgrown plants and ivy draping over the top as he pulled a clump to one side and revealed the same wooden door. She was greeted with a similar fairy tale wonder from their first date. The small walled garden had been tidied up a little, but still had the same wildness with it, covered in ivy and overgrown plants. The stunning wildflowers remained, making the night air sweet. Along the sides, he had rehung the fairy lights, filling the area in a warm glow, and possibly 100 candles in various sizes. He had lost count around halfway through, arranging them around the picnic blanket in the middle. Tom, who had been excited about the night's event, had gone overboard on the treats for the basket and produced enough leftovers for days to come. Jack guided Marinette into the middle of the blanket. With the nerves building in his stomach, he was grateful that it was night time and that it masked the shifting colours in his cheeks. Kitty, are you all right? Do you want to sit down? She patted to the blanket next to her. Thank you, my love, but there is something I want to say first. Jack folded out a piece of paper from his suit pocket and refused to glance at Marinette, who he knew would have a questioning look on her face. He cleared his throat and took a deep breath. Marinette, my princess, my love, I never imagined that I could love someone as much as I love you, or that you would become my home. And now the lonely days are done, and with each rising of the sun, love begins anew. And if you ever ask me why, I know that my love will never die. I'll say these words to you. Of all the souls I've ever known, mine sings to yours and yours alone, and yours sings just to me. In all this world I'll never find a heart that could beat as close to mine, and this time I can see. His hands were now shaking along with his voice as he could hear Marinette rising to her feet and taking a few steps towards him, but he couldn't look at her, not yet, anyhow. A love like this is so hard to find, and so many never do. The love like this, when even exists, are precious and few. Down the miles, through the years, yours is the star by which I steer, the brightest star I've ever known, and when I feel all hope is gone, yours is the love that leads me on, the light that guides me home. The light that guides me home, Marinette added, glancing down at his handwriting scribbles across the paper he was holding. Your light will guide me home. You are my home, forever and a day, my love. And with that being said, she took hold of the piece of paper as Shat reached back into his pocket and lowered himself onto one knee in front of his princess. He could hear her make a little squeaking noise that was too cute, but he still held off gazing up at her. He held the little box in one hand and slowly lifted the lid with the other. Marinette, will you? Yes! She called out, stealing his gaze. 1,000,000 times, yes! She yanked at his bell, pulling him up to her. I didn't get to ask, he chuckled. Go on then, ask. It will be the same answer. My love, my princess, will you marry me? He grinned. Yes! I love you so much. And I deserve none of this, but I promise you, each and every day I will try my best to earn it, my prince. Shat pulled out an elegant handcrafted ring with a tiny paw prints along the edge and an emerald with diamonds in the center. It's perfect, Kitty. I love you. He was grinning like a Cheshire cat as he wrapped his arms around her waist, lifting her up and kissing her. Who would have known they would have a love like this? Thank you for listening to this lyrical one-shot requested by Sarah. I hope you've enjoyed it. Smash that like button, comment down below. Have you guessed which other one-shot, Marichat one-shot, it is linked to? And subscribe if you haven't already. Tons of other Marichat stuff. Marichat Monday's coming, and series, and there is just so many videos. So make sure you subscribe, okay, so you don't miss out. And yeah, make sure you keep an eye out for the rest of the videos this week and next week for another Marichat Monday. Okay, hope you have a good one, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.